Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I was thinking of doing something a bit different for this video. I've just started reading the most amazing book ever. I absolutely love it. And I was thinking of reading you guys the first chapter while you watch me draw. I think it's a bit more interesting than the whole music thing. So let me know in the comments what you think about this idea and if you like the book and so far like the first chapter. The prologue. The mirror maker lay on her bed, her delicate hand outstretched towards the night sky as she admired the iron and obsidian ring her beloved had forged and gifted to the Queen of Thorns. She'd burned the kingdom of Arcturus and her fellow seraphim to get the ring, and even lost her daughter, but she didn't care. She had bigger plans, and getting the iron nose was paramount. She scoffed at the ridiculous name given to the ring, the iron noose. Granted, calling it a noose made some sense since the size would automatically adjust to its wearer and death seemed to follow in its wake. But that was about it. The ring appeared to be a simple obsidian ring, surrounded by metallic interlocking patterns. The metal was mistaken for iron, but if that were the case, the mirror maker's ring finger would have been burned from wearing it. The alloy is known as antin. As invention by the ring's creator and the dark core of frozen fire were elytra, a divine material used by the Queen of Thorns' primordial race. This ring was a symbol of the union between the mirror maker's beloved and her nemesis. The core should have been made of gold and silver, but none of it matters, for the Queen of Thorns was turned to dust. When the mirror maker tore out her tanzanite heart eons ago, shame that she lost the heart. The mirror maker's thoughts were interrupted by the caged white raven that cawed and ruffled its once pristine feathers. Enough, Adristria, the mirror maker snapped as she struck the gilded cage in frustration. She didn't bother propping the cage back up once it toppled over onto the ground. She glared at the loud bird with her bright, quicksilver eyes and bared her sharp teeth. I'll throw you off the cliff if you act up again. The mirror maker was beautiful. Even her fellow seraphim were in awe of her, for she was the night sky personified. Her raven hair adorned shimmering constellations, and the tips were the same bright, metallic silver of her irises. Her moonlight skin was decorated with lustrous black tattoos that reflect with gold and silver. Most notable was the tattoo on her forehead that matched the various phases of the moon. The white raven cawed 3 more times, tempting the temptress to either tear off her pointed ears or to dig her silver nails into the wretched bird's chest. She grabbed the cage and put it right side up and snarled, "What?" The raven hopped onto its thorny perch and silently ruffled her feathers. The mirror maker angled her head in confusion at the bird's odd behavior. It was snapping its beak towards the sky. She continuously looked up. The bird was pointing towards the brightest star in the sky, the morning star, which flared and gleamed brighter than she'd ever seen. "Well then," she remarked as she rose to her feet. Her mirror-like eyes were locked on the celestial body. Her stare was broken by the scent of burning bone and the crackling of embers. She drew her gaze to her left hand and the glowing electra core of her ring. What? Her inhumane screech echoed across the scorched fields. She threw the white-hot ring on the ground and cradled her burned finger. The seared flesh would scar into the ring's pattern around her ring finger. Her perfect skin was now marred, and she wanted to rage against fate for placing her soul into the beautiful flesh prison called body. She turned her spinful gaze towards the morning star. She froze and her hatred cooled to a simmer as she watched the star fall from the night sky and disappear over the horizon. A sinister smile crept onto her perfect face. She knew where the star was going to land. Through Rigel! An alluring laugh escaped from her full lips. It had been eons since she'd set foot in Rigel, where all her problems began, where her beloved had chosen the Queen of Thorns over her. But the iron noose was hers. Arcturus was hers. The tabernacle and the Eucharist was hers. Everything would be hers, and she needed patience. Luckily, she was ageless. The time was on her side.